So, what do you think about data analytics? So, how many requirements do you get from the clients on an average, and how many applications you get to fill that position? So, what do you think is the ratio of that? If you get like hundreds or thousands of applications, how do you filter? Like, yes, these are 10 or 15 odd resumes which I really feel should go ahead without talking to them. But this is funny. The instance you told, like people copy from ChatGPT and the box is still there. Hello and welcome to the new episode of Analytics Unplugged Podcast, where we do conversations with expert. Today we have Mr. Fabrizio from Recruitment Agency in Perth, Australia. Today we will talk more about consulting agencies, like how they see the profiles of data analyst or business analyst or from IT background. So we'll talk more about it from the recruitment perspective rather than just technology, and then we will move upon like how we can hone our skill sets and what they are looking in us so that we can increase the chances to get shortlisted for the companies. So this is what we are going to discuss in this particular episode. Welcome, Fabrizio, to this episode.
Thank you, Atikant. Thanks for this opportunity. It's my pleasure being here and talk about my experience in IT recruitment with you today.
Amazing. So let's start this episode by just getting to know more about yourself, like how you started working in recruitment agencies, how you came in data analytics and IT field.
Sure. You see, I used to work in internal HR in Italy, so in Europe, which is a complete different, world in comparison to Australia. And just as you are probably aware, because you also come from an hardworking environment, it was pretty much the opposite of what is going on here in Australian soil, which means that thankfully here we have a lot of opportunities work-wise, whether we're talking about IT or other jobs. Whereas in Italy and in Europe in particular, we have like more candidates in the market rather than opportunities. So sometimes it was all about, the hiring manager telling to the candidates, how they want the candidate to be, rather than, what is happening here. So here you have the candidate that is kind of, he can tell to the hiring manager, how his or her expectations are, and it's more flexible, it's more easy to find a job in Australia than in Europe and in Italy. So my job was basically related to another field. I wasn't working in IT at all. I was working in biogas, which is related to biology, a completely
Right.
different field. It's green energy that it's quite popular in Italy. So basically, we use these huge fermenters where we can put and store like all the cow or pig manure, or especially in the farms, we can try to get the energy from these compost materials. And the raw biogas that is created inside those huge fermenters is then burned in an engine that creates electricity. So this is a field really popular in Italy and in Europe in particular, and I worked there for quite a while. It was plenty of opportunities work-wise in this particular field, but I never worked in the IT space before. So when I joined Australia, I found this amazing company where I'm currently working in, called PSG Professional Search Group. It's a company who specialize in IT and finance. So we also have the finance side besides IT. In the IT space, we do have several desks. I'm owning the data and analytics a desk, and then we do have the software application one, project services, and so on. The good part of this small company, because we're talking about 15 of us, so it's not a huge one, is that we can do our job properly. So usually big agencies are dealing more with numbers, so they want to work as many jobs as possible, rather than, and sometimes I'm not saying they're doing that, but probably the quality of the job you're doing can be not so good. So we
Yeah.
rather work less jobs, but following properly all the steps. So we meet the candidate in person. We have a chat with him or her, so we can understand also the personality of the candidate. This is really important. And then we try to send a short list to our client that is already well selected. So I always
Right.
try to tell to my clients that I see myself like the Italian shoemaker that try to do the
Yeah.
leather shoe properly, and
Right.
then
Hmm.
try to sell the perfect shoe that can fit properly with my
Right.
client's foot, rather than send
Exactly.
CDs randomly. So IT was kind of new for me. So I never had experience in IT before. I joined this company a year and a half ago, almost 2 years, to be honest. And I was immediately fascinated by this world, which is, in my opinion, obviously the future, because the future is now, especially data. Data is an amazing word. Data are everywhere. So if you consider that they can grab data from literally anything. I really like here in Australia the fact that they're also grabbing data from the cars. Sometimes you can see they are putting this, the
Right.
strings. Yeah, and so they can understand how many cars are literally passing
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's yeah, it's impressive. So I really like this field. I believe that it's a growing field. It's amazing working with data. So I'm still learning, but I think that now I'm quite confident to talk about data with you and
Amazing.
my candidates as well as my clients.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, that's pretty much my story. So that's
That's
how
super
I
amazing.
started. Yeah, thanks.
So in your stint with the PSG, so I
Yeah.
think PSG is specializing in data, then IT and finance, as you were saying. So do we have any other field that they take care of, like for recruiting the candidates?
Yeah. As I said, within IT, we specialize as well in software applications, project services,
Hmm.
desk support. So we also have desk support, and cybersecurity. It's a new field that we
Right.
are trying to develop because we recently hire another person that is in charge only on the cybersecurity desk. So this is another
Yeah.
field that is very sensitive and is growing here in
Right.
town.
It is growing.
Uh, yeah, especially after what happened with Optus.
Yeah.
It's really important to have cybersecurity person in a company or more than one,
Right.
especially
Right.
when you have like sensitive data, like such as documents or addresses, telephone
Right.
numbers, this kind of stuff,
All your
bank
private data is
details.
there.
Yeah, yeah, it's really important having
Right.
cybersecurity. So,
So
so we do
that's
have.
great.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, what do you think about data analytics? So, how many requirements do you get from the clients on an average, and how many applications you get to fill that position? So, what do you think is the ratio of that right now?
Okay, so I believe
on an
that
average?
that depends, because
Yeah,
this market in particular is a roller coaster.
yeah,
Perth is a particular town. You know that because mining is the leading industry here. So when you
yeah.
have these big clients that we are also serving, not all of them, but many of them, you know that
Hopefully in the
they
future.
yeah, yeah, well, they have the potential to hire thousands of employees. And as you are aware, there are, as I said at the very beginning of our conversation, we don't have like too many candidates here in town. It's not a huge city, Perth, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So when they decided to have like a big project involving, for example, data engineering, they immediately can hire literally hundreds of data
yeah,
engineers in town. By doing this, unfortunately, they create they destroy kind of the balance of what was happening in town. So suddenly, you as a recruiter, talking about myself, obviously, you find out that there are not too many data engineers in town available
right.
anymore,
How
but
to fill it?
maybe more data scientists or data analysts or data architects, depending on
Mm,
what they are doing. So, as I said, it's a roller coaster, this field. It depends. To answer your questions, sometimes I do have a particular field that is trending. For example, at the moment, that is data engineering. So if you are listening to this podcast and no, sorry, podcast, if you are watching this video and you
yeah.
are a data engineer, just please contact me, because I have plenty of
Yeah,
opportunities at the moment. So this is a
amazing.
good thing. But yeah, as I said, it depends. So it's generally it comes in waves. So it could
So
be
now
3
already
months.
people would be interested in data engineering because, as you said, so many job opportunities are there. So basically, what are the skill sets that you generally look in the candidate for data
Well,
engineer?
depending, for example, so the first thing that I generally look in a candidate is the personality, which is something that is underrated. Sometimes, you
Yeah,
can find like really good candidates with really good skills, but most of my clients are looking for someone that, for example, is not scared to talk in front of 20, 30 people, to be in touch with stakeholders.
yeah,
So the candidate that I like the most is the one that is not scared to talk with the business, with
true.
those stakeholders. The one that has a great personality, that is kind of filling the room, with his presence, with his
Yeah,
personality, and
positive
this is
vibes
the
only.
top one. Yeah, and then obviously the technical classic skills. A
Yeah,
very strong language, for example, SQL and Python are the most used here in town. Even
yeah,
R sometimes is useful to have it. Always having a cloud software such as Azure or
right,
AWS. Sometimes you can
right.
also have Google Cloud, but here in Perth, probably it's all about Azure, especially because
Yeah,
Microsoft is really strong, and
right.
AWS as well.
I
Amazon
think I think
Web.
if we have to see the contribution of, I think around 70% job market is from Azure, and
Yeah,
maybe
I
25%
agree.
is from AWS.
I
Yeah.
agree. AWS
So
is currently rising, to be honest. So I can see that they are investing a lot of money, and I can see that especially in the universities, because I'm working as
yeah,
well with not all of them, but most of the universities in town. AWS is well used, so it's good to have. It's good to have,
yeah,
and it's good. They can also offer like free courses online, so it's really easy to learn. I suggest to anyone to have a look into AWS if they are only working with Azure. But
right.
yeah, the trend is usually it's more Azure. Definitely 70% is definitely Azure at the moment. Yeah,
Right. So, talking about a very important aspect, like if we talk about the resume building for a candidate,
yeah,
what do you think is the most important thing? Like, if you get like hundreds or thousands of applications, how do
yeah.
you filter? Like, yes, these are 10 or 15 odd. resumes which I really feel should go ahead without talking to them, like which impresses you. So what do you think are the, like, if you have to list like 5 or 6 important elements that should always be there in your resume, so what would they be?
Well, to begin with, definitely when you can use, for example, very well Power BI, you can or Tableau, you can show those skills already in your resume. So you can, have a resume made with that visualization tool that can show me immediately that you are skilled with that particular tool. So that can already tell me something about yourself. Secondly, I believe that the skills are very important. So those ones that are highlighting properly all the software and skill that they can have, they touched in their work career. It's very useful for us, especially because we are reading like hundreds and thousands of resumes every
Yes.
day. So we need like shortcuts, and when you have a very nice introduction, this is something I really like. So a brief introduction with probably 4 or 5 sentences that explain very briefly who you are. This is something that we really appreciate, especially clients, because they do not have time, enough time, to stay there and read properly all the resumes. So my suggestion is always that one, to be brief, to be concise, to have highlighted all the main skills. So starting probably, as I said, with a brief introduction that says probably that you have, I don't know, 5+ years of experience in a particular field. This is really important. So I immediately understand as a recruiter or as a client, how many years of experience you have. Maybe what your goal is. So I'm looking for a step up of my career in that particular field, and then immediately after that brief introduction, having like the skills that you are using the most, those ones that are your stronger tools. So this is really important. And then obviously very schematic and not too long, in my opinion, what your career was. So no
Mhm.
more than 1 or 2 pages. This is something that I suggest. Sometimes I can find like resumes with 20 pages. This is
Oh,
too
so
much.
really?
Yeah,
20 pages.
too many, too many. It's very annoying for us. I can tell
Yes,
that so many clients, they're not even starting to read something like that, because, as I said,
of course.
we are receiving like a lot of resumes. We are drowning in resumes, and the more concise you are, the better. And also, if you can use, as I said, Power BI, for example, or another tool to show me immediately that you can start from your resume,
Right.
prove me that you can use that particular tool. It's great. So basically, I think that this is my suggestion to have.
So coming back to what you said, first is if someone is good in Power BI or Tableau or any visualization tool, he or she can create a resume with that tool itself. That will show
Yeah,
you that you already know the skill set.
yeah,
You already have that, right?
yeah.
But what will happen in ATS? Like if you are sharing your resume, it should be
Yep.
ATS compliant so that it can be, scanned and it can go through the checklist. So what will happen in that case?
I know. Well,
So oh,
well, to be honest, it's something that can happen, and it's not so bad. I'm not saying that it can be a weak point. I'm saying that it's something that can happen, and we can deal with that. So
right.
I believe that obviously the easier could be the format for us to copy and paste and to deal
Right.
with, the better. So this is for sure, in particular because we can also provide to our client a format version of resume sometimes. So we
Hmm.
don't use very often like the original, version of the resume.
Right.
So not every time, depending on how much in a hurry we are. So if we have enough
Yeah.
time, we like to put our logo as well, especially if we are representing a candidate that
Yeah.
obviously came in the office to have a chat with us. He's keen, to work with us, and obviously he's signing our terms, and is ready to be represented from our company, so Professional Search Group. And in that case, we do put our logo as well. So I suggest not to be too much complicated with that. Yeah.
Right. Or either I think we can have a proper one page or two-page resume, and with
Yeah.
that we can create our portfolio like on Power BI,
Yep.
and we can
Yep.
have that digital resource kind of thing that can be shared, and the prospective client can see what kind of projects he or she has done, or
Correct.
maybe we can update our GitHub for that, like
Yeah,
or
yeah, definitely. And
so.
also another thing that I was almost I forgot to suggest is to add your, if you are like even taking courses and keep yourself updated, doing something nice for the community, some voluntary things.
Yeah.
So this is something really nice that maybe you can put like some extras in the end.
Right.
And also, as you all are aware, the IT train is really fast. So if you want to keep yourself to catch the train, you need to keep yourself updated, and
Exactly.
it's a never-ending learning process,
Right.
especially with data. Every day there could be something new.
Exactly.
So you need
Yeah.
to go to this in the city. It's plenty of these meetings. And these, you can go there and just listen to what they say, and to participate to this conventions. It could be really nice. And also doing some online courses, it can help you to have some more extra information, to add some more extra information in your CV. And a client as well as a recruiter can see that you are not in you're not you're always on the move. So we like to see that you're active, well, especially
Right.
using LinkedIn is really great. I
Right.
really suggest to anyone to keep using LinkedIn, and keep updating anything, literally anything they're doing every day. If they see a nice news coming from I don't know, Amazon or anything, Microsoft, just post and
Yeah.
keep yourself active, because we are very well attracted from that kind of
Right.
person. Yeah,
So if
yeah,
you get two options, like there is one candidate who is not active on LinkedIn and one
yeah.
who is active on LinkedIn, but both have same profile, then I think you will prefer the person who is more active on LinkedIn.
Definitely, definitely.
So
It's
I
really
think it's
attractive.
always about that impact that you can do in your first instance,
Correct,
maybe.
correct. Because
Yeah.
we do love, candidates that are proactive. So someone that is not, in the sleepy mode, but it shows
Yeah.
directly that he's doing something for himself, that is training, that is studying, that is keeping himself updated, even with the news that are happening around the world, with the AI, for example, in particular now. Start using a simple tool as Microsoft Copilot, or
Yeah.
Gemini, Google Gemini. These things that prove us that they are doing something for
True.
them, and they
True.
are not, they are very hungry, and they're keen to keep learning. This is really
Right.
important. So yeah, we
Right.
definitely pick the LinkedIn active
Yeah.
person one.
So coming back to the resume part, so
Yeah,
there are many viewers who are in their mid journey, and they are
yeah,
trying to transition into data fields. So many
yeah,
people are in, let's say, marketing, some are
yeah,
in sales.
yeah.
So what do you suggest how they should uh, go ahead and like move into data field? It's not easy because
I know
already it's crowded. Let's say if we have 10
it is.
opportunities, there are 100 people who are looking for that 10 opportunities. So
It is.
obviously it is competitive, and
I know.
already people who are with the education in data, they are still finding the challenges. So it's not easy for transitioning. Like, so what we can suggest them so that they can move into data quickly?
Okay, so I have like many candidates that done that transition. So it's something that I really like, because when you can prove that you are keen to do that kind of transition, you can definitely show to the business, especially using LinkedIn, that you are doing something to change your career, because you feel yourself maybe in a stagnation moment, So you feel yourself not liking anymore what you were doing. So and you feel yourself obviously fascinating by the data field. So this is something that we want to see, especially through LinkedIn first. So you have to post simple things such as I want to share with you that I successfully completed a data course or something like that. So you can start to show to the world, especially using those kind of media tools, that you are doing this transition, from the very beginning. So like I'm starting to learn this kind of tool. I'm starting to do so. This is really important. And then obviously you have to transfer that into your resume. So immediately you have to show to where your job, your career
Right.
history is, that you are moving into a new field, and explaining the reason, well, not like properly, but there's always the human side. So I believe that the human side is really important in this job in particular. So it's something that proves that you are not doing this kind of transition because you're looking for more money, for example, but you're
Yeah.
doing it because you like the field, you like to be detail oriented, you like to be focused in data, you like to spend your time with data, you love the data field, and finally you're doing something for yourself. So you're trying to follow your dreams, and you're trying to change your career, and finally be brave and moving into that career. So you have to show to anyone that you're doing as a brave
Right.
person. So you have to do it to show, as I said, to begin with on LinkedIn, but then transfer that transition properly on your resume. So from, for example, any other field job that you were looking for, you have to put like some kind of a brief, I don't know, description, or 2 or 3 sentences that says that you are taking maybe are challenging yourself more because you want to study, and you were always maybe fascinating by data, for
Right.
example, and you finally decided to move in that field because, I mean, in the end, obviously, you don't have to write "you only live once" and those fascinating sentences, but that's
Right.
the story. That's the story. So
Yeah.
you just have to go for it. To
Yeah.
jump, you have to be. They have to be aware that you are jumping from the bridge, for example, and you're not afraid to jump. So it's. I think that we do appreciate those ones that
Right.
come from another field, and
But in
they start.
general,
And I place the candidates like that so far.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen Australian companies, they do motivate and support people who want to change
yeah,
and shift in their career. So that is
yeah.
really
It's
good.
good. It is
So
indeed.
if, yeah, it is so flexible. If you are working in, let's say, A field and you want to move into B,
Yep,
just show the
absolutely,
just show your enthusiasm and the will to learn, and you can definitely achieve that. So that is
absolutely. And
something which
trust me,
is really motivating. And
there's enough space. There's enough space
yeah,
because this is a great country, and I myself come from another country, so I
yeah.
migrated to Australia because I believe that this is an amazing place to be, and especially in data, there are so many opportunities. There will be even more opportunities in the upcoming future. I'm sure it's any company needs someone that take care of data. It's something that you can't avoid to do. It's really really important. So if you want to move into data, my suggestion is to do it because this is the time. This is the right
Right.
time to do it. Yeah, we're living in the data in the data century or whatever in the
Exactly.
data. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do the clients look for someone who is more specialized in AI, or do you get these kind of requirements right now? Maybe it's too early for
Hmm.
companies in Perth.
Yeah, I believe that it's still a little bit early, to be
Yeah.
honest. We, as PSG, are looking to open a new office in Dubai, for example,
Mhm.
specializing in AI, because
Yeah.
Dubai is way ahead us with AI, and not only Dubai, but also other cities around the world, in the US in particular. But
Yeah.
Perth, unfortunately, it's still a little bit behind.
Yeah.
So it is coming. I'm not saying it's not coming, so it will come. At the moment, my suggestion is to be aware and keep yourself always updated to what is going on, especially in AI, because this is the
Right.
next, gen. Yeah, it's definitely what is coming. So
Yeah.
you have to be prepared, and
Right.
the more you're prepared to that wave, which would be a very big wave, the better. So you can
Right.
yeah, you can be prepared, and as soon as we have like job opportunities in that field, you can
Hmm.
be one of the first one, and yeah, have a good salary as well, for sure. So that is a job that is definitely
Right.
coming. Yeah, but not at
Right.
the moment. At
So
the moment is a little
yeah.
bit too early, in my opinion.
Right.
A lot, but do not mistake me, because many companies and many clients of mine are putting a lot of money into it. So
Yes.
they are investing money. It's something that, yeah, will come, but
But
not
I
as
understand.
not
But
soon.
I understand the majority of the pool would be from data analyst, data
Correct.
engineering,
Correct.
all those kind of profiles. So that would be maybe 80%, and 20% might
Yeah.
come from AI, ML kind of
Yeah.
things right now.
Yeah.
But then, of
Machine
course,
learning.
this
Yeah.
ratio will obviously change because we are going towards AI, ML. So maybe from 20 to 30 or 40%, it will be more AI, ML kind of roles. Maybe next
I
three, four
agree.
years. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
now
data science is one of the field that I suggest definitely to have a look into it. It's really important, especially in the healthcare industry.
yeah,
They are investing a lot of money for the prediction of what they can literally save lives. Because
exactly.
being a data scientist, it's great. And my suggestion is, from a data science, the data scientist to an AI expert, the step is very short. So my suggestion is, if you are moving into
Right.
data at the moment, try to move in that particular field. So yeah, definitely data science. Yeah,
Amazing. Nice.
yeah,
Right. So also coming back to what we were discussing related to resume.
yeah,
So I just wanted to ask one thing about references. So there is one section where you add your references, for example, your past previous employers. So you can tell these were my references, so that the future company, they can contact them to understand how the candidate was and all stuff. So what
yeah.
do you think? How important it is, and what the person or candidate should do for that?
Okay, so to be honest, references are really important, but we
Hmm.
do follow a process usually, where we, as recruiters, we call directly those references and ask, some questions about, what the particular candidate done in that role, etc. So how was it? If he was punctual, and all these questions that are pretty much, easy ones. Yeah, I suggest to keep those references in the resumes, but it's not vital, because anyway, either way, we will call the candidate if picked, obviously, from a company, and then we'll ask again for
Yeah.
for those references. It could be that maybe those references are a bit old, so we need like an update, because this is an amazing place where you can find a lot of opportunities. So maybe in the meantime, they might find another job, they might have new references to provide. So you need to probably to give always, this is my suggestion, fresh references. So
Hmm.
the fresher they are, sometimes obviously you can't, but the fresher they are,
Yeah.
the more
Better.
can be, yeah, a positive reference
Yeah, I
for,
think it will be
uh,
more impactful. Yeah.
yeah, because they still remember you, like,
Yeah.
very well, and they can provide us like a positive
Right.
references. And yeah, that is something that, but it's up to the candidate. I think that is not vital to put references in the resume,
Hmm.
but yeah, could be good, could be not, depending on, we don't, as a recruiter, focus on that. Obviously we focus on other details that I already explained to you.
Yeah.
So this is a second step for us. So we first try to do the marriage, as I say. So we try to find the proper candidate for the client, and as soon as they are interested, obviously, on having them on board, we then call back anyways, even if they provided us already the references. We then call back the candidate anyways and ask for the references. So it could be a waste of time sometimes, but it's up
Right.
to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So one more thing regarding when we talk about resume, we talk about the cover letters as well, right?
Yeah.
So in Australia, and I think predominantly all across the world,
Yeah.
we always prepare our cover letter where we explain about ourselves and how we fit in this company and how we can contribute to the success of the company and all those things.
Sure.
So how important it is, and what are the things you feel generally the candidates do the mistake in cover letters?
Okay, so in my opinion, cover letters are not so important, but not because they are not important, because as I said, we are literally drowning in resumes, and
Mhm.
sometimes we don't have even the time to have a look, at the cover letter. So if you want to do a proper cover letter, my suggestion is to be concise, to be short, to be to not too long, and try to put like briefly. But for example, especially if you're coming from another field, this is really important to have a cover letter that is explaining why you want to move in that field. So it gives me some extra information that
Background.
I can't have it in the resume, because as I say, the
Yeah.
resume can't be more than 2 pages. Sometimes could be too long if you have like 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. So the cover letter is helping me as a recruiter to have this extra information that I don't have it already on the resume. But as I say, it has to be very short. So not too long, because we don't used to read too many cover letters, nor obviously the clients, because clients need to be they pay us, as a service, so they want us to give a proper shortlist to them that is already like well selected, and
Right.
they want they will never read a cover letter. So cover letters are only for us as recruiters, so not for the final client. The final client, this is something I want to tell to anyone: they will never receive the cover letter from if it's passing through an agency. So we
Okay.
generally keep the cover letter for us. It's good for us probably to select a candidate from another one. So if I do have, it's the same example you were saying about the LinkedIn active person and the other one that is not. If we do have like a nice and short cover letter, and we don't have a cover letter in the other case, we might pick probably the one with a proper cover letter, but
Right.
please be very short and concise. It hasn't to be more than half page, has to be
Yeah.
even less, has to be like few sentences, like a short introduction of.
Yeah.
And many times it's just a copy and paste that they are doing, especially using ChatGPT. You can
ChatGPT.
see that there's still the box, and it's
Yeah.
annoying, because we understand as a recruiter, this is a suggestion, the more you're using those tools, the more you're copying and pasting, the more we are realizing that you're not so keen to that opportunity. So you maybe
Yeah.
are applying like randomly on Seek, and because you want so badly to start working, and you
Exactly.
don't even read properly the job description. This is vital. So
Right.
we need a candidate that understand, that is ready to do that kind of job, and he read properly the job description. And we want to see that in the cover letter, in case obviously they want to
Yeah.
provide that information to us.
But this is funny. The instance you told, like people copy from ChatGPT and the box
Yeah.
is still there. So I this is really nice. Do you remember any other instance that happened
Many
with you?
times.
Like any fun instance, if you remember? I know
Well,
it's really hard to remember all those sorts of things.
okay, so that is something that really happen often. Sometimes, obviously, we are advertising a role that is not a role that is supposed to be in our recruitment company. So what you can see is that a particular candidate is maybe doing it in a hurry, or as I said, is applying for hundreds of applications even without reading the job description. So you can see that he's writing the cover letter by obviously copying and pasting and using ChatGPT, and talking directly to PSG, Professional Search Group. So us as if the job will be at PSG. So they say, I
Ah,
can't wait, for example, to join you at PSG but because they just copy and paste. So that is
right.
a very funny story that proves that you're not even reading that. We
Yeah.
always put in our job description at the very beginning that this is an opportunity, for example, for a big company in the healthcare industry, this and that information, just a brief note at the beginning. So it's not at PSG. PSG is a recruitment
Yeah.
agency that is, the filter between the company and the candidate. So this is funny. Sometimes they don't even,
Yeah.
and this is something
Yeah.
that we
Sometimes,
immediately
yeah,
realize. And
on
to be
LinkedIn
honest,
as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
we don't
You
we
get
don't we
the
don't like those kind of candidates. Yeah,
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
that
So
that's
yeah,
amazing to understand that, because
yeah. The
sometimes
risk
you
is that we
feel
don't meet
confused.
them. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. So,
good.
just one more thing
Yeah, no
regarding
worries.
the location. I mean, we are in Perth, and we know the job market in Perth. And
Sure.
you are so PSG is in Sydney and Melbourne as well, or we are doing in
Okay, we
Perth?
used to have an office in Sydney as well, but then because PSG has 10 years, I mean, it was born 10 years ago, so we used to have an office in Sydney as well as in Perth, and then the office in Sydney was closed because my employer's partner decided to open. They basically split. He opened a professional search group in the US. So there's now a PSG USA in Orange County, California, San Diego. They've got more than one office, and it's a different reality. So the logo is still Professional Search Group. We are still in contact. We are still doing,
Mhm.
many competitions between like who is doing more here and who is doing more it's a different market completely. We
Yeah.
are doing like trips together. So
Okay.
we're going together. For example, we recently went to Fiji Islands. We can catch up in between.
Yeah.
But as I said, two different markets. So you can't compare Perth or Australia with the US. So we are still working with many companies in the East Coast, even here in
Mhm.
Australia. So we can provide candidates because of obviously our knowledge with the office we had in Sydney. I'm
Mhm.
still meeting candidates. No worries if they are willing to relocate here in Perth or they want to stay in
Right.
Sydney, especially or Melbourne, especially because you can find many remote opportunities. Sometimes they
Right.
can work here for a company in Perth or Adelaide from Sydney or Melbourne or vice versa. So it's not mandatory the location anymore. Thank God because of these
Yeah.
advanced IT moment we are living all together after COVID, especially. So we are focusing mostly, obviously, on Perth because this is where we specialize. We know Perth market really, really well. It's
Yeah.
been more than 10
And
years,
it
as
is
I
growing.
said. Yeah. But what we can also and we already placed, and we are still working on roles on the other side of Australia. So it's a busy market, maybe too much because I receive so many candidates from the East Coast that are approaching me and are
Yeah.
willing to relocate to Perth because obviously
Yeah.
there are less opportunities than here. I feel that Perth is a kind of a happy island. There are like less candidates, so plenty of
Yeah.
jobs for everyone.
Hopefully
If
it
they
stays
want to
the same
relocate,
because
it's fine.
it's getting
Yeah,
same as East Coast, because many people are coming from Sydney and Melbourne to Perth
correct.
because they can see the opportunities here. They can see Perth is still growing. So
Absolutely.
inflation is not in that terms, right? Sydney
Exactly.
is like blown. So so I
Crazy.
I know so many friends who are coming from Sydney to Perth. So I can
Yeah.
understand the reality.
They will just struggle to find a place to sleep because now the market, especially rental market, is
Oh
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
That's something that is really. But sometimes they can have like some friends, as you said, you are a friend of someone that can, they can move temporarily in
yeah.
some friend's house and
Right.
then find a place to
Yeah.
stay. So I definitely
True.
suggest to all those ones that are watching us from the East Coast, if they are looking to relocate to Perth, to give it a shot, because there are opportunities, especially if they have like great experience in data, data engineering, data science. Feel free to approach me. I'm keen to have a look at their resumes. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
So, Fab, it was lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for
Thanks.
giving the insights,
No worries. My
and
pleasure.
I learned a lot, and hopefully the
Thanks.
viewers they will learn a lot from you today.
Thank you
And
so
I'll
much.
share your LinkedIn profile if you're fine with it. So,
Yeah,
if
sure.
someone wants
Absolutely.
to connect with you regarding the
Yeah.
recruitment and anything related to that, so
Yeah.
they can connect with you.
Yeah, it will be my pleasure. I always have like job opportunities, and especially with the upcoming new financial year, we are waiting for many other opportunities to come. So please feel free
Amazing.
to reach me, okay, to contact me.
Right. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Fab. Take care.
Thanks, Adikant. It was a pleasure, and yeah, have a lovely day. Chat
You
soon.
too.